Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the ExtraBLRD episode 149, where we talk about all the news and extra happenings throughout the week. We're back with myself, Creamcast, Darkside, and Green Tuner. Unfortunately, the snake had to go. He has some obligations. He had to get them Z's for tomorrow, but it's all good. Appreciate him for stopping by. We just got finished doing episode 149 for the Craven review. So if you haven't seen that, please go back and tap those buttons, get back to the review. You get to see that we have a pretty interesting conversation about the state of Sony and their Spider-Man. Was it Sony Spider-Man Universe? SSU is what they call it.
You gotta hear our opinions on Craven. You gotta
hear it. Like, you saw the movie.
Craven, some Craven.
Yeah, if you saw the movie, I mean, we're literally like the end credit scene, so that you can hear all of the happenings of Craven and where this character is going
of this
in the future.
Cinematic masterpiece.
It is a roller coaster ride. Right,
it's crazy. I have not seen.
It is a little bit of a roller coaster ride. Yeah,
if you like, literally, Craven to me is like up there. Like, here's Schindler's List. Craven is like right here as far as cinematic masterpieces. So, I mean, at this point, why are you so
Spielberg?
Yeah, why are you watching this right now? Go back to episode 149 where we reviewed Craven. But if you have listened to our Craven review, I mean, our main topic for what we're going to talk about for the ExtraBLRD is something that, I mean, shooketh the foundations of the video game world, which was the Game Awards. Game Awards happened last week.
Most watched Game Awards in history, right? Like, it broke their records. Everyone was watching this thing.
Yeah, this was their 10th anniversary of the Game Awards, and I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I don't think any of us expected the Game Awards to be this successful, because I mean, we're coming off of major expos shutting down. I think E3
good riddance is what I say.
E3 is no more. I mean, if you would have told me 20 years ago that E3, or 10 years ago that E3 was going to have its final hoorah within my lifetime, I would be like, no, that's crazy. E3, that's a staple of the video game industry. But no more. But here's the Video Game Awards.
Some people who aren't on this podcast still claim that E3 was relevant well past its relevancy period.
Yeah,
that those people aren't here to defend that. But I mean, I'm just saying, like, I mean, something took over. You're absolutely right. And was it 10 years? This is the 10th anniversary.
10th anniversary.
Jeff Keighley puts on a hell of a show. I will say that, and he keeps getting better. He does a good job. And at this point, spoilers, he, like, from where the Game Awards started, which was basically one step away from the Spike TV Awards, you know what I mean, from back in the day.
Yes.
To this point where you have fucking Harrison Ford, you have fucking A-list people popping up, and I don't know what the ratings are, but I mean, like, I think the fucking Oscars should be a little sweating right now, because definitely the younger generation is more. This is more relevant of an event than like the award shows that exist right now, because I don't think anyone watches the Golden Globes or the Grammys, and maybe they do. Maybe I'm totally wrong and I don't watch them, but definitely this is the, like, in terms of relevance, this felt relevant, right? So the production was outstanding. Hats off to Jeff Keighley. He always puts on a great show. And apparently it was like the most watched Game Awards of all time. And they had some bangers to show us, for sure. I felt that they were bangers.
No, they had some really good trailers. It was promised to us that there was going to be trailers that were going to really surprise the fans this year, and I think they did. I think they did that. There are still trailers to this day that are still. Most times in the past, you'll see a trailer and if it's not like a From Software game or something like that, it'll make the round in the news, and people will just be like, oh, okay, whatever. But there's trailers now still being talked about to this day, and the Game Awards was a week ago. The Game Awards in of itself was, I feel like it was a really great ceremony. 10 years. I showed up late, unfortunately. I had some previous plans, totally forgot about it. So when I started watching it, I ended up live streaming it on twitch.tv/IamCreamcast. Check me out. But yeah, it was a really well put together show, and the trailers. So we got one trailer for Onimusha. I'm just gonna go off of my one of my favorites. That was something I've been talking about for years. I'm like, hey, we haven't had an Onimusha in literal years. I mean, I would say maybe even a decade or so. I'm like, this is
definitely like PS2, PS1 era, a game that definitely hasn't been around in at least 2 console generations, at least.
And I was like, that's crazy. I'm like, okay, so we got a trailer for that. We got, then we got some of the heavy hitters. We got Witcher 4.
Witcher was a big deal.
Yes, Witcher 4 got announced, and beautiful trailer as always. CD Projekt Red, they know how to make a great trailer.
Not a shocker, like we knew this was coming, but we didn't know the trailer. We'd get a trailer at this point. So it was a surprise, but not like a total like, oh, they're making a new Witcher. We knew they were going to make a new Witcher, but it was nice to see at least the story representation in the CG trailer. And I know a lot of people are, as they do, have come to gripe on the CG cinematic trailer, and not enough gameplay. And I know that that's the thing, but again, the first trailer is always just a like story concept, right? It's always just a like introduction to what world you're going to be getting into. So I'm not hating on that at all, and I think that it's like The Witcher has enough like prestige that it justifies, like World of Warcraft. It justifies like a CG trailer that can build up hype for it. But yeah, no, I liked it a lot. What was the other one? So was it Okami? Like that was a big deal.
Okami too, yeah.
A lot of people, and Snake was talking about it before, that it's a favorite of his. I forgot the name of it. I believe it's Untitled, but from the creators of Shadow of the Colossus, and
that one's
Ico.
cool.
Yeah, like I said, we didn't get to see a lot, and like what they showed is not that. I'll be honest, it's not going to be like melt anyone's brain. But if you've played Shadow of the Colossus or Ico or any of these other games, oops, sorry, my lights went out. If you played any of these other games, the idea of we're going to get another game like that, which is all about
it's the gameplay. It's never been the graphics.
No, it's never been graphically fit. It's always just the experience is really good of those.
The experience is really good. Yeah.
So the idea of that, like that, for me, like if I'm ranking these things that these for me, like what was the biggest thing that happened, this is up there for me. It's definitely top 3. What are the ones? I know, like
I'm looking it up right now.
What their one last thing was
Borderlands.
Big,
they did Borderlands 4.
They Borderlands,
big trailer for that. And then the 2 of the biggest ones that they did was Naughty Dog's coming out with a new game called the Heretic Project. So
that looks cool.
Intergalactic, the Heretic Project, and then also Elden Ring Night Reign.
Elden Ring, yes, Which Creamcast did you get? I know that you saw the trailer. We watched you live react on your channel to it, but did you? There's some more information coming out about this game. Have you been reading like about what it is? Like, because it's definitely breaks from the From Software traditional format of the type of game that it is. Because they're dropping words like, obviously, like it's a co-op game, but it's like roguelike. There's a battle royale element in it. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, I heard about this.
What's your take as the FromSoft guy here?
This is completely different. This is the merging of. I know when I watched the trailer. I remember listening to, and Darkside, you're the one that was on the stream. like I said, I was about an hour or two late to the showcase or into the award show,
Mm-hmm.
and you told me that like Elden Ring is coming out with a new game. And I was like, no, that can't be, because Elden
Yeah.
Ring they said that the Shadow of the Erd Tree was going to be its one and only DLC. There was going to be no more DLC after that. So I was like, okay, and that's why I heard before. So I was like, there's no way. And then when I saw it, I was like, whoa, like complete surprise to me. Like I'm
Yeah.
like, whoa, this is crazy. So I watched the trailer, and I remember I was like watching the trailer, and I was live reacting to it. Like, wait a minute. I'm like, is that a Dark Souls 3 boss? I'm like, no way.
Mhm.
There's no way that's a Dark Souls 3 boss in the Elden Ring game. Like, that doesn't make sense.
Mhm.
Now, a lot of these worlds are supposed to be like between Dark Souls is within the same universe, but it's even hinted that Elden Ring could be part of the same universe as well. There's some overlap when you get deep into the
Mhm.
lore. So I was like, okay, I'm like, maybe they just reuse, like, or they're trying to meld those two worlds together. And then as I started reading more into it, I realized like, oh no, they're actually having actual Dark Souls 3 bosses inside of Elden Ring,
Mhm.
or Elden Ring title
Mhm.
game. So yeah, I've been hearing a lot of things of what this new game is going to be. It's going to be cooperative multiplayer, which is crazy because Elden Ring already has, and even Dark Souls has a co-op mode of sorts where you can summon other players in, bring them into your game, and continue on with your story as necessary. But this is supposed to be
Mhm.
an actual co-op game where you can actually play with a friend in the world as if they were part of the actual, like, your group. So I
Mhm.
am very interested about this. I have not played Elden Ring, but I've spent many hours reading lore videos and everything else. I'm kind of
Mhm.
excited about this. I love From Software. I love what they do. I love the Dark Souls series. I love the
Yeah.
Demon Soul, Bloodborne. I love all of their games.
Mhm.
They have done an
Mhm.
incredible job. So the fact that they are releasing this, and I mean, there's not a lot of information out there just yet, but the fact that this is coming out is really cool. I'm pretty excited about
The
this.
the reason I bring it up is because a lot of the traditionalists are not too pleased, and I mean, like, that might be the theme. The gamer's not happy might be the theme of the night, but or ever happy. But the From Software hardcores seem to be a little not happy that they're going towards this like battle royale type of game. You know what? Like, and obviously no one's played it. No one knows how it works. But are you nervous about this? You think From Software is selling out for that season pass money? You think
Yeah,
that's where they're going?
even if they are, it's like, if they were, right, and we've talked about it in
Mhm.
previous episodes of the podcast, where
Mhm.
that Sony is thinking about buying out um From Software, their parent company.
They
um
will.
yeah, so I'm just like, is it really selling out? No, I don't really think so. I hate the word selling out because it's stupid. I mean, Elden Ring, the Dark Souls franchise, is successful in and of itself, but if they
Mhm.
want to capitalize on it by adding season passes and so forth, there are people to this day that still play Dark Souls 2. There are people to this day that still play Demon Souls, that play Dark Souls
Yeah.
1, and they do
Yeah.
PvP on it. If the servers are active, there are people that are doing active PvP on it. So the thing is that if they can be able to extend the life cycle of something by adding transactions, and they make a couple dollars off of it because of the fact that they want to do this, I don't think there's nothing wrong with it. What I hate is when companies do like battle passes and so forth, or like DLC for things that should
Mhm.
have been initially in the game in the first place, right?
Mhm.
And I don't
Mhm.
think this is it. If this is just going to give people more creativity and more options to do other things, why not? Why does it hurt? You have the option, if they can give you a complete game, and then all these other transactions are nothing that's going to break the game, or it's not going to give you
Mhm.
pay to play to
Mhm.
pay to win. Why does it
Yeah.
matter? Why does it matter? I'm not
It
really.
definitely it definitely like the people who are hardcore fans of From Software games, they replay those games a lot, right? Like a lot. So the idea of a roguelike battle royale with the same concepts, big bosses, and like a boss rush sequence. Um, that seems like it's right up some of these people's alleys. This is what they would want, like a game that's familiar yet like keeps it fresh. So I mean, I agree with you. I'm not one of the hardcore, so I can't speak to it, but I definitely felt a little bit of pushback, maybe not pushback, hesitation from the community of because this is a major departure from what they're used to. So,
Sure.
but no, yeah, that was one of the big ones. We did Turok
Turok, yep.
was very surprising that they're bringing Turok back. I know the Ed Underground was really like blown away by that. I was blown away by it too. So I'm really excited to go back to Turok Universe. That's something I wasn't expecting. Absolutely. Um, but was there any other ones that stood out to you guys?
Yeah, there's a few.
Yeah.
So another one that came out, like I said, Borderlands 4. Obviously coming off of the release of the movie was Borderlands. I think there's a great distinction between Borderlands the game and Borderlands the movie. Borderlands the game still has a cult following. Borderlands the movie, nobody really wanted it. It's a couple years too late.
Does it still have a cult following? Because the last Borderlands game didn't do that well, right? Was it Tiny Tina's Wonderland or
Yeah,
something like
Tiny
that?
Tina's, yeah, all the other stuff.
I
Yeah, it
I
did
think that
okay.
underperformed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it did okay. It
So,
wasn't as good as like Borderlands, like the main games, like Borderlands
I
3,
mean,
2,
yeah.
and 1. So
This definitely seems like they're trying to get back to basics. With
yes,
this, what they showed definitely seems more like the
Borderlands.
Borderlands fundamental thing that everyone likes.
Exactly. Like the other like
Yeah.
Tiny Tina's adventure, whatever, that felt more like DLC, right? It looked and
Mm.
felt more like DLC. Um, but this seems like yes, we're back. We're back. We're back in the game, folks. Like we're getting back to the core of what makes Borderlands great. Yeah. So hey, what's going on, Rune? Rune Moore joining the chat. He says Tiny Tina's game wasn't canon. The fans want to continue the actual story. Exactly. So it's like we're getting back into the what people actually want, which is
Mm.
actual Borderlands in of itself. So Borderlands 4, yes, I think it will do. I think it will do extremely well. It's more of Borderlands 3, same art style, but
Mm.
better. That's why I think I mentioned it on my review. I'm like, this is. I didn't think that they can make the Borderlands aesthetic look even better because I thought it looked
Mm.
really good in of itself, and they have just capitalized on it and made it look amazing. So Borderlands 4, yeah, I think Borderlands is back for sure.
Okay.
Shadow Labyrinth, I don't know if anybody really cared about that as much, but that seemed like the concept looked cool. With Shadow
What was that
Labyrinth,
one?
that's the one where I had Pac-Man. Like a
Oh,
Shadow Pac-Man.
Oh, that was interesting.
Yeah, it looks very
Yeah.
that
interesting.
was
It looks,
interesting. Yeah,
yeah, it looks really
and I
cool.
believe that's based on the a secret level
Secret level. Yep.
episode.
Yep.
Yeah, which I have not watched, but yeah,
Yeah,
that
it takes
looks
it.
interesting.
Yeah,
Different.
you know me. I like when things go dark, and this is
Dark.
a dark version of
Of
Pac-Man.
course.
Of
Yeah.
Yeah.
course,
Of course.
darkness. And
Mhm.
then another thing that was pretty cool. Well, two things that were pretty cool.
Yeah.
Was Split Faction, which was from the
Yeah.
creators of It Takes Two. It Takes Two won
Yeah.
the Game Awards like 2-3 years ago. So this looks really
Split,
cool.
is it split? Is it Split Fiction?
Split Fiction.
Good fiction.
Isn't
Yeah.
there? Isn't there another one? What's the other one with the game that looks like Portal with Halo mixed in with Portal? Isn't that also called Split something?
Split
Do you know what I'm
Friction.
talking about?
No, I don't know what you're talking
No,
about.
I don't know. Okay, all right, never mind.
What
Move
is
on.
it?
No,
Halo
don't worry about it.
combined with what?
Yeah, Portal. Like, there's a game that's Halo and Portal combined together, and they got a sequel. And I saw the trailer. I'm pretty sure we saw it tonight, and I thought the name was
Huh.
like Split something as well, and I could be wrong.
Split Gate.
Um, Split Gate. See, I'm not crazy.
Yeah, that
Ah.
was,
Split something.
but
I
that
was
was like
like,
5 years ago.
but no, it got a new trailer, so I think there
Oh,
was
did it?
either a sequel or a skin or a map or something popped up here.
Oh,
Yeah, there's a new trailer for it. Look it up. But so this one's called Split Fiction.
that's Split Fiction.
Okay, so yeah, it's another like it are these guys, this is all they do? These like two-player co-op games? Like
Hey, Hazelight Studios. Not sure.
yeah.
I mean, we could take a look
I
really
mean, the
quick.
last couple of games, like I mean, I remember playing Brothers and I liked Brothers, but that was you controlled both characters and I thought that was fun. And I think It Takes Two, you can't control both characters, right? It has to be two people,
I think it's two
two
people. Yeah.
individuals.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is more like that. I mean, it's interesting, but like, it just seems like more of the same from them, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. They literally, every single game they make is with two people.
I'm
So,
not hating the concept. Somebody's got to do it, and they obviously do it well. So I'm just like, I
yeah,
wasn't as blown away by that. Oh my god,
sure.
another co-op dual player game.
Well,
Um,
well, I remember we were making jokes about it, and we're like, "Oh no, Takes Two was like a married couple, and now with
yeah.
this game, it's like it's two women. We
Oh
can't have
no.
the women being
Oh
represented." I'm
no.
like, "Oh
Sense
no."
sensing a theme here at the Game Awards.
Yeah, exactly. But it seemed like
Yeah.
people actually looked fondly upon it. I think they're
I
willing
think
to give it a
it
shot.
looks polished. I think it looks polished, and like the story, the idea of it's cool. Um,
Yeah, where you're
but
going
it
through like
seems
different
like
worlds, and then the worlds evolve based on your progress and so forth. Yeah, it looks
Mhm.
fine, and I think most gamers they're gonna give it a shot. So
Yeah.
at this point, that's the most you can work. That's the most you can hope for.
Mhm.
Another game was Virtua Fighter 6, which
Yeah.
is
Very
surprising,
surprising. Yeah.
very surprising. And I don't know if you guys saw the trailer for it. It looks really clean and polished.
Yeah, it does.
It looks really nice. And the fact that we have a virtual fighter in 2024 is amazing in of itself. But at the same time, I
Oh,
mean, we still have Tekken and Street Fighter. So, I mean, I guess it's not that huge a surprise, but a Sony
yeah.
fighting game, not Sony, a Sega fighting game
Sega.
in 2024,
Mhm.
that's crazy. But
Sega's like they're supposed to have a big comeback. Remember, where's the new Crazy Taxi? Wasn't that supposed to come out? And
yes, a new,
they've showed a whole bunch of games. So like, I'm kind of excited for Sega's semi revival. I like where they're going. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Uh,
they have potential for sure.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I mean, Rune talking about he was saying he's okay with video game studios specializing. Absolutely, if a video game studio can specialize, I mean, hey, if that's what they do. That's what they do. As long as they keep making great games,
Yeah.
that's all we care about. And he says, waiting for Virtual On. Virtual On. I've talked about this game in the past. Virtual On.
What is this?
That's the robot fighting game. That
Oh,
I talked about, and it was maybe about like 10, 20 episodes ago. I talked about Virtual On for the Sega Saturn, and it reminded me there was another game that was coming out. I think in Game Awards either earlier this year or last year,
mhm.
or maybe it was a Sony showcase or something like that that showed a game that had similar gameplay to that. And I was like, I was really excited, really
Uh,
excited. So
mm.
yeah, I'm looking forward to that for sure.
Okay.
Sonic Racing. I'm talking about Sega. Sonic Racing is coming back. With Sonic Racing, from what I heard, is not a bad game. If you like Mario Kart and so forth, and you find yourself to be on the spectrum a little bit, you will have a great time with Sonic Racing. That's what I heard. The Ed Underground is a huge Sonic fan. Like dresses up as Sonic, has the Sonic shoes, and he always talks about he's ready to go fast. And he, for some reason, every time he goes somewhere, he throws his arms behind him and starts running, like a Naruto run, and
Yeah,
swears that he's
Naruto run, yes.
yeah, but he swears he's Sonic. So
Adorable.
yeah, it's very adorable. So when he heard about this game, he was going berserk. It was crazy.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but yeah, so I think that's for most of the exciting games that came out, and
It was
trailers.
pretty packed. There was a lot of we call it a lot of bangers. They had a lot of bangers,
Mhm.
unexpected. Um, so I mean, yeah, no, I think for presentation wise, good stuff from everyone. Um, now are we going to let's talk about the winner. There was a little bit of a
Well,
upset.
before we go there, let's talk about
Okay.
something. Let's talk about one big event that happened. And Rumor
Mhm.
mentioned it. For the Game Awards this year. Um, the CEO of Larian Studios, the studio behind Baldur's Gate 3. The CEO, I can't ever say his name correctly. It's like Savin or something like that. Let me look it
Mhm.
up real quick. What his actual name? It's Sven Vickney. Sven Vickney. Or
Mhm.
yeah, Vicky. Something like that. I think that's close enough. Pretty much was there to present an award, and
Mhm.
pretty much gave his speech shitting on the game industry. He said, "Hey, I already know." He's like, "I took a time machine." And he's like, "I went through and I saw who all wins the Game Award next year and the year after that." It's the studios that don't and I don't want to necessarily misquote them completely, but pretty much said that it's a studio that didn't follow like politics. It wasn't treat their developers like numbers on a spreadsheet. They didn't treat their players as users to exploit. It didn't make decisions they knew were short-sighted in function of a bonus or politics. They knew that if you put the game and the team first, revenue will follow. They were driven by idealism and wanted players to have fun and realized that if the developers don't have fun, nobody was going to have any fun. How they understood the value of respect and treated the developers and players well. In short, developers cared about the games that they were making and they love the games. And as simple as that. Really shitting on a lot of gaming companies that were absorbing developers and game studios into their own parent studio, kind of treating their developers as numbers and getting people into pretty much into cubicles just to crank out games with no to little creativity. Really just he was really just shitting on the gaming industry as a whole, as what is being conformed into. Larian Studios is his own studio. It is not owned by Microsoft or any other company, so they get to make a game as they see fit. And Baldur's Gate was very, very highly received, especially among like the D&D community, tabletop community, and so forth. So the fact that we have a CEO coming in and kind of shitting on the entire industry. Now, people were taking videos. I guess they went over Phil Spencer, and Phil Spencer just looked stone faced cold at the Larian Studios CEO because I mean he's guilty of that, and I think that's what's needed. I know we talked a lot about these studios and these games studios shutting down, but I mean I'm glad that somebody actually spoke up about it. I remember watching that. I was like, damn, this dude is kind of going in. Because I mean, it is becoming a problem. Think of it. It's almost like Sony. When we talk about Sony, and Sony was not allowed to make the mistakes it was. We had Disney, Sony, and I don't know who else. Screenlight Studios or whatever, Screen Gems or whatever else. All these other studios getting put together, and they're just making the same movie. Because at that point, it's just, hey, we're just gonna make movies, and you're gonna watch it or you don't, because we're the only people that are making movies. And that's why I think we all kind of feel that's what the gaming studio is kind of becoming. I know we all applauded, like, oh, okay, Microsoft picked up this, now Sony's going to pick up this and blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, does that really do well for the player base? Yeah, I don't think it does. I think that, okay, it's fun when it's like a one or two off, but once it starts becoming a mass ingest of studios and then just to dissolve them, it kind of shows a sign of things to come, I think. So I think that was a pretty telling moment. I don't know. Did you guys even know about this, or did you guys even hear the speech that he gave?
Nah, to be honest, I got the replay and I just fast forward all the talking and just went from trailer to trailer.
Yep, that sounds like my green tuner right there. I like that. That I would expect nothing less.
Well, yeah, I mean, like you said before, nothing's gonna change.
That's true.
Profit's always gonna win. I mean, it's a nice speech and all, but fuck's that? It's the same place where they brought that guy like, yeah, let's give people, jobs in gaming because they're losing whatever. Microsoft, come get your award. Yeah. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's so stupid, to be honest. But yeah, the reveals were cool though. I like the trailers. Nice.
I'm glad that was your takeaway.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Keep it real.
Oh, that and you know what? Fucking, I did not know that. What's his name? The guy from Bethesda, the main guy. What's his name?
Yeah, I forgot his name.
I don't know his name.
But you know what I mean? Todd Howard, right?
Yeah, Todd Howard. Yeah, that might be it.
I did not fucking know that dude was like 4 feet tall. Holy shit! Did they have to pair him with the biggest people in the whole world every time he presented?
They put him next to fucking what's his name? Fuck. Now I'm losing his name too.
But that's what I'm saying. Like every time they put him, they would always pair him with giants.
They put him with like taller individuals. So yeah, I also was like, damn, he's either Todd Howard is average sized and old boy's like huge, or Todd Howard is like a small man, and I just never noticed.
I think
he's a tiny man.
The stage director probably didn't like Todd Howard. Said something. Todd Howard said something horrible to that stage director. Was like, you know what? Fuck you, man.
Like, you know what?
I'm gonna pair you next to giants, motherfucker.
Well, it doesn't help that Todd Howard. Like I'm looking at all the pictures of him, and he's literally standing by himself in like 90% of these pictures. Like he's not beside anybody because even to the short guys, he's a midget to them. So he's a midget compared to them. So yeah, he's short. Very, very short. But hey, that might just be, dude, get some platforms in your shoes. You'll be all right.
You got the money.
He's not, but
you
actually,
no, wait, he's not
even that short. Actually, I'm looking at his height right now. Now this could be a lie, but it says for some reason, which is I don't think I've ever seen anybody
6'5"
with their height. He's actually 5'6". So he's not that short.
Fucking Troy Baker is a giant man. Then.
I mean, if I
Troy, he was coming up to Troy Baker's shoulder.
Well, like, Troy Baker's shoulder.
You're right. Yeah,
he's 6'3".
Top of his head. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I mean, he's taller than.
Could at least put someone like mid height in between. Like, just something.
The other thing is that Troy Baker just looks like a average. He's always looked like an average, handsome guy, right? But apparently he's just a like tall, average, handsome guy. Yeah. So like he's also deceptively, when I saw him side by side, I was like, the fuck, something's off here. There's definitely a glitch in the Matrix. I just don't know which one is the glitch right now.
Troy Baker, I think we have two, I mean, we can say the same thing about two people, right? Or the same gist. Troy Baker is tall for most men. He is taller. The average height in America, I think in the world, is like 5'8". I think the world's like 5'8". For America, is 5'9". So Troy Baker is he's 6'3". He's abnormally tall for a man. And then you have Todd Howard, who is abnormally short for a man. So I mean, you're talking about two extremes right now. Rumor says short kings unite. Yeah.
Anyways, it was like watching Aragorn next to fucking what's it called, Bilbo. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, this is a real life Hobbit. Taping.
They show like a far shot. Todd Howard's like have big furry feet. He's like stumping away.
Like, oh shit. Yeah. So Todd Howard, he's 5'6". He's tall enough. But yeah. Oh, I guess if you guys haven't heard about the whole thing, I mean, that was. A lot of people applauded Larry and Studio CEO for that, just kind of bringing it to an attention, and the fact that he did, I think was cool. But
they're not wrong.
Yeah, he's not
wrong. If you make a fun game, fans will follow.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's the number one thing. Yeah, because you could put all the money in the ones you want, but if the game sucks, nobody's gonna play it.
Yeah, pretty much.
I will say the only thing I'll say about that, like I said, echo like. What will this change? We'll see like where that goes. But the fact that we're talking about the most watched game awards in history, all these people, like it's like the ticket in the video game industry. If that was a approved speech that Jeff Keighley said, you could make that speech. Props to Jeff Keighley. Like he knows who's in the room. He knows who's watching. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so if
he's not blind to it, and he allowed it to go through twice.
Yeah, and did like, or I guess I just wasn't paying attention around this. Creamcast, did they cut away? Did the camera cut away to, Spencer and some of these like execs and like Yves Guillemot and all these guys? Yeah. Did they take advantage of that? Or
apparently somebody did. I don't remember that when his speech. I think they were just doing the typical pan out. It was just the crowd, but I think they did hit on like Phil Spencer, but I don't think it was. I think it was just a coincidence. But I don't remember that. But people say they did. But in either case, people can edit whatever. But hey,
good on them.
Hey, like I said, good on them for sure. All right, so let's get on to the winners. Darkside, I know you were talking about probably the biggest upset. I mean, the biggest one. Yeah, the biggest upset.
Don't know. Yeah, the other awards I really didn't really register with me because it's really honestly the main one was the biggest upset, and I think a lot of people are chattering about it in many different directions. That Astrobot won, and
Mm-hmm.
Astrobot was not considered to be the favorite. It was critically acclaimed. A lot of people liked it. I haven't heard anyone say anything bad about Astrobot. But I believe Black Myth Wukong was supposed to be um front runner.
Yeah.
Am I correct in that? Like
Yeah.
I think that was the consensus from a lot of people that it was going to be the front runner, and it kind of like was out of left field that Astrobot took it. I think it's a refreshing change. Of course, Astrobot is owned by Sony, so like it's
Mm-hmm.
not like a little independent studio got anything. But and I think it would have been cool for like this Chinese in studio to take home the game of the year in a Western, like sorry, Eastern, no, Western, um, uh, award show, to like, show you where the industry's going. I think that would have been a statement, but, yeah, I haven't played Astrobot, but like I said, I have not. I watch people play it, and it looks fun, really fun. But I was surprised by it. What do you guys think?
Oh, go ahead, Grinter.
I didn't watch the award portions.
Okay.
Right.
It holds the same weight to me as the Oscars. It's just industry.
Okay.
I like what I like. I don't like what I don't like.
Nice set talk. Okay. Okay.
Well, I mean, yeah. What do you guys care who the industry votes for?
Well, it's not the.
Are you guys gonna stop liking what you guys like?
Well, the thing is that I think the controversy is that it wasn't just the industry that won game of the. Astrobot wasn't just an industry plant. Other publications gave Astrobot Game of the Year as well. So I think the controversy behind it is kind of telling of what the. I feel like it's kind of telling of just. I think I had mentioned this before. The loudest voices do not always reflect the opinion of the population or the populace. So everybody, when Black Myth Wukong came out, it was critically acclaimed because it was because of its anti-woke agenda, right? It was a game that was just a game, and it didn't include any woke stuff and blah blah blah.
Push an agenda.
Yeah, and like
What anti-woke agenda was in Black Myth Wukong?
you said what?
No,
No, they
but
say-
that was the argument where people were like, "Oh, they're not changing it and
Yeah.
trying to appease to like the PC crowd." I do remember that going around.
They wanted Wukong to have purple hair, and they were like, we want to be able to change the hair color to be LGBTQT, and why can't Wukong be Wukonga, and blah blah. Why can't it be a woman? And then the dev developers is like, this is a mythical character in Chinese lore about a monkey god. Like there is nothing about it that requires any changing of gender or anything like that. This is like saying like, oh well, instead of having Jesus, it's Jesus. Jesus.
Give Jesus purple hair and like tattoos. Let's see how you like that.
Yeah, or like Muhammad, and really his name is instead of being Muhammad, it would be Fatima. And everybody be like, oh my goodness, pray to Father. Like they're like, this is stupid. That we don't need to change it because it's based off a mythical character that is just it's part of Chinese culture. That's it. Like we're not going to change it. And I'm not saying that Wukong is being preyed upon, like as a religion, as necessarily Jesus or Catholicism, Judaism, and Islam, but it's like there's no point in changing it. There's no need to change it.
So was there like some kind of like a demand from like people to give the character purple hair, or what?
There was
Is this just something the developer like from the beginning was like, this is just what we're, like you said, like this is the story of a mythical character like Kratos. Like
it's
that's
both.
Kratos.
Yeah, it's like both.
Be customizable.
Yeah, it was both. It was they said like, hey, we're like the Chinese developers like pretty much came out and said like, no, we're not changing anything to Western demands. We don't care about this. This is a Chinese game made by Chinese developers, and we're going to do with that game as we see fit. That's pretty much what they said. And then there's going to be advocacy groups or groups. I don't say it's even advocacy groups. It's just people on the internet who are like, oh, we should do a petition to do Wukong to be change the hair color and make sure instead and make it Wukong more feminine so we can have female characters. And it's like, it's a fucking monkey. Like, get over yourself. But then on the opposite side of that other thing, there's people praising Wukong to be like, look at this. This is not a game that has social justice in it, and there's no trans people, and then therefore look, they're doing the right thing, and look how great this game is. And it's like, dude, these people just made a game that highlights a character within a culture that's outside of the West. Is you guys are trying to take the culture or take the reasoning why they develop a game and paste it onto whatever social political beliefs that you want to have, or socio-political beliefs, and try to mold it into something that is not. Like, and there's both sides on that are just stupid on this argument. So I think what happens is with this game is that because there was such controversy around this game, whether it was on one side of, hey, this character is not woke enough, or this character is anti-woke, people take that argument as that is a reason why it should be Game of the Year, because it gained popularity from that, which I'm glad it didn't, because the reviewers in the industry, that's like Green Toon were saying, like, this is, I mean, it's an industry game. This is what the industry is going to they're going to review this. And while they said this game was good, they didn't include all this extra crap into Black Myth Wukong. They're like, it's a good game or it's not. So when you compare a good game, which Black Myth Wukong, according to many people, is a really good game, you compare it to AstroBot, which is apparently a really good game, and you compare the two together, while Black Myth Wukong might be a 9 and AstroBot's a 9.5, AstroBot wins. Simple as that. And there's people online, like I'm looking at Reddit threads where literally people are complaining like, oh, why did AstroBot win? It's a platformer and Sony must have paid a lot of money for fake votes. And it's like, okay, Sony, there could be a controversy that we find out 10 years from now. Sony paid a lot of reviewers.
You will never make people 100% happy or 100% people happy. Yeah, it will never happen.
It'll never happen, and people will never agree.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll never agree. They'll always think there's a conspiracy theory or something like that. So people are,
like you said, if it has all the accolades of everyone, you will still have people like, oh, well, why did that win? You know, it should have been insert game I personally love. That should have won.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what everybody's saying. Like, well, Black Myth Wukong. And I even said, I think me and Dark Side, I think we both said that we thought Black Myth was going to win. Man, that was literally just because of the amount of hype behind the game. There was a lot of discussion. I didn't see a lot of discussion with AstroBot, but to be fair, I wasn't looking for it. Black Myth was literally in the news all the damn time, so I was paying attention to it a lot more than I was for AstroBot. But by game designers and game critics, they said AstroBot is the better game. And that's just what it is. So yeah, a lot of people are upset about it, or a lot of people were upset. But once again, just because you hear the loudest voices does not mean that they account for the opinion of the population. And I truly believe that. And I fell victim to it. I think Darkseid fell victim to it, and so forth. But I think just because they just had a loud voice, people assume Black Myth Wukong was going to win. And the fact that it even got nominated for Game of the Year award. I mean, there's so many games that came out. The fact that it even got, if there was a second place trophy, which it kind of is, there's the Player Choice Game of the Year, and Player Choice Game of the Year was Black Myth Wukong. So that's kind of like it got the, didn't get Game of the Year, but it got something close to it. Why are people still complaining? I think that's just stupid. It's
still won. They're still gonna go home to their piles of money. Don't you guys worry out there. Whoever's losing sleep over Black Myth Wukong, they're still gonna have a gigantic player base. They'll be fine. They'll be okay.
Yeah, they'll be all right. Like, they're gonna cry about it and so forth. But there's literally people still to this day.
I'll be honest. I'm not a video game guy. You guys know this and everything. I know of Black Myth Wukong. I had no idea about AstroBot until we mentioned it right now. For some reason, when I heard Astrobot, I thought of Astro Boy. So even looking up, I'm like, oh, that's Astrobot. I remember that little guy flying around. So it's just saying that all the Black Myth Wukong people should be okay, because even like the non-gamers know what Black Myth Wukong is. You go to your average non-gamer guy and be like, hey, you excited for Astrobot? Like, what the fuck is Astrobot?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just doesn't have that recognition as of now, I guess, with the general public.
Well, that's not even true in and of itself. The Astrobot was very well received from users that played it, from critics that reviewed it. Everybody liked it. I didn't see anybody. I honestly have not seen any reviews out of somebody who was truly unbiased. Not, and I'm not talking about people like, oh, I just don't like platformers. Then of course you're gonna rate this unfavorably. But people who are truly just like, hey, I like this type of game. I'm gonna play it, see if it's good, and I'm gonna compare it to other games. Everybody that has reviewed it has liked it. Though I would consider unbiased. So the thing is that while we may not like it, other people did. And it's one of those situations where it's like, like we talk about this. I think we talked about this before with Oscars, right? There are movies that win Oscars that nobody has seen. There'll be something that get nominated, and we'll be like, "Why the fuck is this random ass Sundance film movie that only played in 3 theaters win Oscar for best cinematography?"
Remember when The Artist was sweeping the Oscars or whatever? That French movie about dancing. I don't think I've heard about that movie since then.
Yeah,
that's The Artist movie.
That's what I'm saying. Like, people will be sitting here like they act like this doesn't happen with the Oscars. Like there will be only thing that like I guess is a little bit more I guess that aligns more with kind of public opinion are like Grammys, because Grammys are built off of the listening pool of actual users, as opposed to the Oscars. Oscars, they have the huge variety of categories that you can just win and not be a well-known Marvel movie. I remember when Endgame came out, and I remember people thought Endgame got snubbed for movie of the year. And everybody was like, "Oh, it has to be Endgame. It has to be Endgame because Tony Stark died. It was the greatest, and we've been building up for this for 10 years." And it's like, do you not realize that majority of the world, like even though a lot of people did watch Endgame, a lot of people didn't. There's a lot more people that did not watch Endgame. They don't care about Marvel movies. They're gonna see the French movie. There are gonna be people that are gonna watch the French movie have more sway over the Oscars. Something that's so obscure, something that's shown only in like 10mm films across Spain or something like that, or France, that is going to win the Oscar, as opposed to Endgame. I'm like I think people, that's why I said the loudest voices does not mean that is what's going to win. And I think people get that confused. Like, they think that this is a democracy, and it's like, no, it's a democracy of sorts, but it's not based off of your vote. It's based off of the industry's votes. Now, if there are industry shills out there that are just getting them fat ass Sony checks, like Darkseid over here, instead of, because he's a Sony fanboy and, doesn't care about Xbox whatsoever. I mean, that's just the industry. The industry is just going to vote as it needs to vote. So, yeah, people are just really upset about it. And like I said, I'm looking even on Reddit right now while you guys have been talking, and Reddit has literally people still, as an hour ago, still commenting about something that happened a week ago. They're really upset about this win for Astrobot.
What the hell?
I'm like, dude, calm down. Like, you'll be all right. Astrobot, you'll be able to play Black Myth Wukong. And
stores will still carry it, believe it or not. Even though they didn't win the Game of the Year, they'll still sell it. Right. Don't worry.
Like, you'll be able to sit.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like the nominees for Game of the Year are all good games, right? Every year that is all the nominees, the 5 games or whatever it is around that they get nominated. Same as Best Picture of the Year for Oscars. They're all good. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, so,
nothing is
at
horrible.
This point, you're just like, you're just crowning one over the other, but they're all good. Like, they're all the best game of the year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this would just like this had a lot of chatter, like, and you spoke to that chatter, why that is happening. So I think that was notable. Yeah, was there any other game award you wanted to talk about? Because, like, honestly, beyond this, I don't know who won what
Yeah, I
or
think
why.
those were just like the big ones. Yeah.
Yeah, only
Yeah.
other one that I would say congratulations to the Ed Underground. Microsoft
Whoa.
was able to actually come out with a
They
game.
got one.
No, they got
one,
two.
baby.
They got two.
They got 2 awards.
Two awards. So they got it's 2 awards for the same game. So 2 awards for the same game. Which was both Senua's not Senua's Sacrifice. No, Senua Saga Hellblade 2
Saga.
won audio design, and also I believe it was performance. So
There
they
you go.
won game performance of the year and audio design of the year. So congratulations
Very
to
nice.
congratulations to the Ed Underground. While you are behind that dumpster, you can listen to the great audio design of Senua Saga while you're doing your job at Wendy's.
So good. I believe the Ed Underground has not finished that game. It's so good. He has
It's
not
amazing.
finished the game yet.
Yeah, he doesn't want it to end. That's the problem. He started and he was like, if I end this game, it's over for me. I don't need an Xbox anymore. So
How pissed do you think Phil Spencer was that Senua's Saga did not get nominated at least for best game of the year?
I'm sure he's used to it.
That was the yeah, I'm sure he's used to it.
Yeah,
but
he's probably used to it. At
that
this
was
point.
definitely their, like, engineered contender, right? That was their prestige shot. And the fact that it didn't even get into the, like, some of those categories was, and it looks like a very pretty looking game. But yeah, there, we joke about it, but maybe there is a conspiracy against our boys.
Well, I think Xbox, our Xbox, they just cannot catch a break, and I feel like Phil Spencer. I think Phil Spencer knows this. I feel like Phil Spencer is at a point where he's just like, you know what, the disappointment, he's just used to it. Like it feels like sweet home to him. He's like, oh shit, we're like not even first place, not even second place, we're third place. Actually, maybe even fourth place because there's a mobile games. A mobile game got nominated for Game of the Year.
Yeah. What was it last year? What was their prestige title last year? Sky. What was that game from Bethesda? That was their big, the greatest RPG of all time. The hype behind it was
Starfield.
Okay, so good we can't even remember. Yeah, like I'm sure that was their, like, this is it. This is our Game of the Year moment, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. They can't get your break, man.
They really can't.
This is their big swings too. This is their, like, 10 years out of development big swings. So
apparently apparently Xbox is now taking off the gloves. 20 years in the making. They're like, damn it, we're sick of this. So now they did say that they're going to have what they say, Insider says, a risky strategy to having Xbox exclusive games, because I think Xbox is getting to a point that they realize that Sony has a formula for first for like storyboard or story games, first party games, where story driven first party games. I think they realize that Sony has a monopoly on that field at the moment, and they are like, hey, so Xbox realized we gotta do something. If we're gonna have the year of the Xbox, we have to do something that's worthy of the year of the Xbox. And because of that, they are they said that this will define their strategy. This will define the next decade of Xbox. So, I mean, they had the opportunity. Xbox, when they first came out with the original Xbox, okay, that was a freebie. Xbox 360, they came out swinging. We thought that the sky was the limit, that they can only go up. But Xbox has shown us continuously, like, you think they've reached a low point, they say, hey, no, we're going to show you something. We're going to go even lower. So at this point, if Xbox, even if they had a good, like, 4 or 5 years of great games, they'll still just be at the surface level. So we'll see what happens with Xbox. But yeah, Xbox, I think they took a lot of blows recently, and they're kind of tired of it. So
Yeah. Hopefully, like something settles into the mind, and hopefully they have that course correction. Maybe they'll figure it out. Phil Spencer will figure it out. We're still waiting on Fable. It's
Oh
been how many
Lord,
years?
Fable, yeah.
Yeah.
How many fucking years has it been? They scrapped it twice. Bless them.
Well, because what
But
happens every year, every time they were about to release it, they're like, "Oh yeah, here it
they're like,
comes." Then here comes another game like Baldur's Gate or some shit like that comes out. They're like,
yeah,
"Fuck!" Like,
shit's all over them. Yeah,
yeah, like,
Starfield like comes out like there's something, but I don't even know what shit all over it, but something shit all over it.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
like, yeah, they do come out the gate. What was the vampire game that bombed?
Redfall.
Oh, Redfall,
Redfall.
yeah.
I mean, it is hilarious at this point that they're literally walking on the lawn with the rakes all over the place, and you
Yeah.
like really feel bad for them.
Yeah, they just
So I mean, they're due for something. They're due
yeah
for something.
they keep
They got the next Elder Scrolls coming, right? They got that.
they got,
They got that.
but the thing
They
is
got it though.
they got it. They have it.
They got concepts of it,
Don't do that.
ideas.
Don't do that. We got concepts of a game.
Yeah.
Not the actual game.
Microsoft spent
I mean,
all-
have you guys seen gameplay? Is all I'm asking. Have you guys seen gameplay of the new Elder Scrolls?
we seen a title. We seen a
I was like,
logo.
Okay, all right.
Oh, I'll say which game because Fable we haven't seen gameplay. Elder Scrolls we haven't seen gameplay.
Yeah,
Listen,
we've seen no
Fable. At
we've
least
seen
they
gameplay
give
of
us
Fable.
the.
No, they haven't.
At least they had
Yes,
the.
they have. There's been 2 trailers for Fable.
Yeah.
that was no gameplay.
There was gameplay in one of them.
No,
Yeah,
there
it's
wasn't.
a short
Yeah.
gameplay.
Yeah, pretty
Or
sure
you think
there
it was fake gameplay?
It was no. They said they in the trailer. They
I
said
know
they
it's
have.
mostly cinematic. Yeah, I know you're saying, but I thought there was a little bit of game. Was it all cinematic?
I think it was all cinematic. It's
Maybe.
about the latest Fable trailer, right?
Yeah, this was like 2 years ago when you say latest.
Yeah,
Fable,
latest in the sense, yeah.
Yeah,
You might have to look it up, but I thought they showed some gameplay in the most recent trailer.
while you guys are talking, I'm gonna
Um,
look at it from
okay,
6 months
okay.
from 6 months ago.
Damn. Okay.
And yeah,
Proof of life.
I think they might say something at the beginning like this is based off of the engine.
Captured in engine, yeah, in engine. Look,
Okay.
it exists. The game is
Oh yeah,
alive.
it says
you
in-game
know?
footage. That's what it says. But
Okay.
it's CG. It's still like cutscenes. It's not actual gameplay.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, like I said, right now they got the Indiana Jones game. It's I went to see Craven. They had a trailer for it. And I was like, oh, kind of cool to see a video game trailer in a theater again.
Mhm.
So I think there's some decent marketing budget behind it, and it's also their big holiday game. It got really good reviews, and you know me, I'm hurting right now. I want to play it so bad, but I don't want to invest in an Xbox copy because I know it's gonna. They blue balled me. They told me it's coming to come out on PlayStation, and now I'm in a like weird position where I want to wait, just
So-
play it on a PlayStation, or play now just to get over with. But it's got great reviews, which I'm excited for.
One of my followers, on twitch.tv/I am Creamcast.
Yep.
He's playing Indiana Jones, and he's a huge indie fan. And we actually talk about you, Darkside, about how much you're in love with Indy and Harrison Ford. And he's a huge Harrison Ford fan as well. And he is loving this game.
Damn. Yeah.
Yeah, he's enjoying.
I mean, like
he's getting upset. He's almost beat the game, and he's like, I think I got like 6 more hours left of it, and he's like, I want to go slower so I can enjoy it. I was like, well, you can always play it again. Yeah, he's like, I really want to savor it. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, like I said, it's ever since like the reason why I liked the Uncharted games, is just because it's like a version
Indiana
of Indiana
Jones,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah. What was the other thing? There's a little bit of controversy behind the Naughty Dog game too. About but like it's kind of all over the place, and it dips into stuff we talked about with Wukong and everything. But in terms of like my most hyped trailer was that, because I mean that studio is not faltered for me. Everything they've put out has been good. That I've followed them for years. And the trailer looked good. I thought it looked interesting, like the concept of a space bounty hunter um is cool. It's like Cowboy Bebop. And yeah, they had like the retro futurism, which I will agree is a little played out at this point. Because Cyberpunk and everyone kind of like did it a little bit. And I know some people were ragging on the product placement with the Porsche and
Porsche, Coca-Cola.
yeah, Coca-Cola. But like, I mean, that shit is in other stuff too. So like, I mean, it's not like it seemed like unjust hate on that game for the fact that we have not seen anything other than one CG trailer, and it comes with like it should get a benefit of the doubt because it comes from a studio that has not faltered.
Yeah,
Like, I mean,
exactly.
Well,
you
okay,
know, so
let's rip the Band-Aid off.
yeah.
People were really hating on the main character. They are like, "Hey, there's a main
Why?
character
Why?
because
Why would
she's a woman
Because it's a woman.
and
Yeah.
her hair is shaved, and they're like, "Oh
Yeah.
my goodness, we're tired of the ugly women. Why can't we have like Stellar Blade, where we have like our anime women with the big tits and their tits hanging out,
The waifu.
wearing a G-string? Like, I want to be able to
Mhm.
floss my teeth in the front of her G-string. Like, if her vulva is not being split, I don't want it. Like guys, like it's the same tired rhetoric. Like
Mhm.
the model who is based who is based or the main character is based off of, she's a gorgeous woman, and people
Yeah.
like, these guys are sitting here like, oh, she has her head shaved, oh my god, she's an ugly woman, and why can't we have our hot women? And I'm like, dude, look at you, dude, you're like like what are we complaining about? This is just a real person and so forth. Like when we see Joel from The Last of Us, this grizzly ass dude that's just like battered and beaten and shit. Nobody's sitting here talking about, man, why don't they make him more attractive? Remove the wrinkles and everything else. It's like the
Yeah.
sunspots off. I mean, it's the same people just being
Yeah.
upset about shit.
Where do you think that is it generational? Because like I'm gonna say like I'm you know like I'm in the 40 generation, right? So I've been, and most of us here are up there. We're like, well beyond our 20s and 30s. But the generation I grew up in, we had like badass women. We had like the Sarah Connors and the fucking Ripley and like the lead strong female characters, and we liked them. I mean, I get it. We also had our Arnolds, you know what I mean, in our lead roles and our Duke Nukem's or whatever you have them. But we had Lara Croft. We had all these, and I get it. Like some of them were like sexualized, but on the flip side, you had the rougher looking like Sarah Connor, right? Sarah
Yeah,
Connor's the perfect example. She's not like a model off the cover. Like she's just like a badass woman,
yeah,
and like she's an amazing actor, like a hero in that series. Same with Ripley. Like you can argue Sigourney Weaver like might have a little bit, like she might be like a little softer in the look, but still, when I think of like I see the trailer and I see like the main character in this, like, and that's why I'm asking: is it generational? Like, because I don't have that hang up with this ugly woman. Is this the young people, or is this our generation, or is this some other generation who is having this reaction? I don't understand. Like, because you're right, she's not a ugly looking woman. She looks great. But she's not like like long hair, tall supermodel. I get it. They're
yeah.
going for a specifically. She looks real, like a real character we're in a universe, right? In a lived universe. So I just don't know what people are looking for then, because I didn't understand that either.
Yeah, I don't understand it. The model that they base it off of, if you ever want to take a look at her, his name is Tati Gabrielle. Um,
Mm,
she is, I mean, she looks like, yeah, are there looks on her that are definitely maybe not as appealing? Sure, whatever. And that's just a haircut. Other than that, she looks, I mean, she looks
Almost
like
to
a,
a pointing. Elbows are too funny.
Yeah,
Elbows are
like
Yeah, they're too pointy. I was gonna say.
funny.
Yeah, her
The
collarbone.
cheekbone structure is too
Yeah.
defined. No
Yeah.
pass, hard
Yeah.
pass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Us
you look at
out
her
of shape,
collarbone.
over 40-year-old or close to 40-year-old men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let us decide who's attractive.
Yeah, her
Yes.
collarbone is not at the perfect angle. It's instead of
Mhm.
Yeah.
being at flat 0 and 180 is more like a
Mhm.
82. Like ugly.
Gross.
Bandit, hey, what's up, Bandito Mac? Hope all is well,
Mhm.
bro. He says exactly. The pedigree of Naughty Dog speaks for itself. They're mad about her bald head and they want a sex doll anime waifu. Nothing about actual gameplay, which we didn't see or anything
Hey, we
worth
all
being
do,
upset
brother.
about.
We all do.
Yeah, we all want the
Listen.
waifu. We all want Stellar Blade, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't you sit there and lie, Bandito. You know you
But
want a waifu.
here's the thing. I also I get it. I also want I also come from the generation where sex sells, and that's the reality. Sex sells, and sure, I bought
But
into it. A lot of
every
people
game
generation
can't be
bought
like that though.
every game can't be like that. You need like variety. Just like I'm saying,
Yeah.
I'm thinking back on like I'm going back to Sarah Connor. Sarah Connor was like a lipstick model that was like unblemished, and she was like same character. It wouldn't make any sense. I mean, she's
Yes.
like
Mm.
you need the variety of these characters. Lara Croft, gr- great character, but yeah, was she sexualized back in the day? Yes,
Yeah.
polygonally she was
For
sexualized.
sure.
But
Yeah.
then they
Yes.
brought her back around and gave her a little bit of grit when they rebooted her, and she kind of hit that middle ground really well. You know what I mean? So like you can have the best of both worlds, or have the extremes on both sides. But like this, I don't get this criticism at all. Like it's just such a weird for a concept trailer. Like I said, it's a concept trailer for a franchise. No one has played the game, but
Yeah.
you have
We don't know
pedigree.
anything. Yeah.
The only thing you know is the studio kicks ass, and this game has been in development since 2020. So like
Yeah.
everything I've seen gives me promise. But I know that if this game is any good, it's going to get shit on all the way up to its release. It's going to get shit on at every angle for nothing. So I mean, I hope the game's good, but it just seemed unjust.
Well, like Cream said, it's just a vocal minority. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the same people that they're gonna complain regardless. They're gonna complain about uh like the fact that like we brought up Sarah Connor, right? Linda
Mhm.
Hamilton is not traditionally the most attractive woman out there in the world. Did
Yeah.
we care back in the day? No. It was just like it was she was she was cute back in the day.
It was
But
cute, but she cleaned up. But like her character was not cleaned up, and it
yeah,
still worked.
yeah,
Yeah, it worked.
yeah, it worked. So this generation, I feel like it's a mixture of our generation and the younger generation. The older generation is influenced in the younger generation, and they think that every character has to be the sex god and so forth. And we've seen what happens. Like there's plenty of like a good example. And then we can move off of it or whatever. Is like
Mhm.
Transformers. We had the
Hell yeah,
Megan
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox, well, she did
Megan
fine.
Fox.
She did fine, right? But then,
Yep.
and then the
Yep.
next movie where Megan Fox was in the movie, we had the one blonde
Mhm.
chick, right? And
Yep.
it's like, but those movies still didn't do well. I mean, they did well, but they weren't like they didn't. She didn't make the movie. Like these people, like I don't understand why people's like, okay, you want the eye candy, and I get that. People want to see good looking things. Like if I get a plate of food and it looks like shit, I'm gonna be like, I don't care how it tastes. I want you to take it back. If it looks good, I'm willing to take a bite. If it tastes like shit, send it back. If it tastes great, oh wait, I got great presentation and I got great taste. But that doesn't work. That's not the same reaction that people get in movies and so forth, or media
Right.
that you have to visually consume. So I don't understand
Yeah.
what these people is. It's the people that just they can't they sit in their basement. And they make these fantasies about X, Y, and Z. They usually don't
Mhm.
look great themselves, and that's how I look at it. The people who make these complaints, like they're not usually the best looking people themselves. And I was like, okay, I understand you want to live in a fantasy, but dude, like, come on, like it's not that
Mm.
serious. And like I said, it's the
There's
vocal
plenty of
minority.
games like that out there.
Yeah, go
Right.
find out
There's
Leisure
plenty.
Suit Larry. Like go play
Yes.
Leisure Suit
Yeah.
Larry and get your rocks off that way. If you want a game with bodacious babes and all this other
Mhm.
bullshit, like go and do that. But if you want a game based on reality, then it is what it is. Like majority of people are just fives out there in the world. They're not going to be supermodels in every single thing.
Damn.
I mean, that's what the average. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
And Daniel Max says, I think they think they get their opinion from their favorite YouTube grifter too, and probably were never going to play anyway since it wasn't Fortnite or COD. Yeah, I mean, the game's gonna be popular regardless of their opinion. So I'm just like, fuck it. Like I hear the controversy, I hear people talking about it, but that's not gonna stop Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog is not gonna be like, oh my god,
No,
she's ugly. We gotta change her looks. Like they're not gonna give a shit.
At the end of the day, like hopefully this still applies. If the game is good, the game is good. That's it.
Yeah,
at the
exactly.
end of the day, that's it. Yeah. So, anyways, all right, moving on.
I feel like that's. I feel like that's all of our.
I think I'm good.
That's it. Yeah.
Shut up, Green Tuner. It was a Green Tuner you checked out. He's like, yeah, I think we're done. Yeah, I think that's all the news.
Hey, I contributed some.
Yeah, you did.
What I could.
He did. I'm proud of Green Tuner. He was like,
I watched.
He was like, look,
I watched most of the show.
He's like,
I mean, I did scrub through the whole thing, so it wasn't like I took the cheap way out.
You're better than the Ed Underground, right? Because Ed Underground would be like, I watched one trailer and I stopped because I pretty much seen everything at that point. So yeah, you did better than Ed Underground, and that is the lowest bar we can set. So outside of just not watching it at all. So
I just cleared the bar. Nice.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, y'all. Well, that is all that we have for Extra Blurred. This has been episode 149. If you want to catch a live taping, come to twitch.tv/ the Blurred Podcast, where we stream every Wednesday at usually 9 to 10 Eastern Standard Time. If not, just be a little patient. We're probably just going to be a little bit late. Also, if you want to watch the taping of it, but you can't watch us live, you can go to youtube.com/ the Blurred Podcast, where you can be able to watch all of the video tape sessions of the podcast. And also, if you're a listener and you don't want to see our beautiful Vogue faces, you can catch us on every major podcasting platform known to man.
Yeah, it's better that way. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, you can block out Dark Side. You know, I'm on the opposite side of the screen. You'll cut Green Tuner in half, but you'll catch him at least on his good side, which is the side that I'm on. So, but until next time, you guys.
We just want. This is our last episode of of right before the holiday. So, like, Merry Christmas to everyone.
Happy
holidays.
We're probably gonna see everyone after New Year's.
Yeah, I'm taking a look.
I think so. I'm thinking about it. Next week is Christmas, so
and the week after it falls right around the same time too. It's like
on New Year's Day. So
New Year's Day.
Yeah, I guess I'll see y'all next year. But
see you 2025.
Oh wait, are we doing like the dad jokes? Like, hey guys, see you next year. Like,
okay.
Oh, you guys are so corny. But yeah, I guess until next time, till next year, this has been the Blurred Podcast, and we hope you all have a very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, wherever you're at in the world, and Happy New Year. We'll see you in 2025. Blur you later.
Blur you later.